All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our followers. Welcome to another broadcast of the Floor is Yours podcast, man. We got a special guest with us today, man. Real good guy. If you anybody in Texarkana know this guy, man. Johnathon Boyce, man. Call him one of them foot soldiers down there. So, man, everybody tune in. We got a lot to talk about. Our city is going through a lot right now. And one thing that Jonathan and I talked about is the need for less talk and more action. So we're going to come up with real actionable ways so all y'all can get involved and do more as a community so we can do more again to help our city. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Boyce and let him introduce himself and tell us what brings him to the show.
Well, I'm Jonathan Boyce, CEO and founder of the Brighter Tomorrow Foundation. What brings me to the show is an outstanding brother that's doing his part of bringing awareness. I appreciate the invitation and everything. I'm looking forward to what this topic holds. It might make a lot of people kind of upset, but
Yeah.
sometimes you got to be the big bad wolf, And
Yeah.
if the shoe doesn't fit, if it's not your size, then don't force it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, man. And you're right, man. These topics, they're not easy, and I think it's designed that way. They need to be able to shake up people's heart, make people uncomfortable, because if we're comfortable, guess what we're going to do? What we've been doing, and doing what we've been doing is not working. So I just want to talk about, man, first and foremost, man, what we talked about earlier today is the mindset of less talk and more action. And my personal feeling about that is we need people talking and raising awareness, but unfortunately, the scale is not balanced like it should be. We got a lot of people that's talking, and that's the end of it. And we need more people on the ground. We need more funding. We need more programs. And there's an old saying that says, if we build it, they'll come. And thank God for you because you build it, man. And now we just need people to come and support what you're doing. So let's talk about the need first to raise awareness, because I don't want to say that we don't want people talking, but you talk about it, everybody has their place. So let's talk about the need to raise awareness to some of these issues.
I mean, it's just like you said, some people need to talk, and some people need to move. Some people are good talkers, some people are good movers. It's all about knowing what a person's place is, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So if a person know they're a good speaker, then they can speak on it. If a person know they're a good mover, then they can move on it. But it takes all of us as a collective, regardless of what the regardless of what your talent is, regardless of what mission it is, everybody there's always a communication.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even in the military, there was people that had the MOSs, what I'm saying, for communication. So
Yeah.
it's all a collective, what I'm saying, it's a collective effort. It's all about unity, man.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
It can't be broken down any more than that.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. Everybody does have their part. I like what Green Electro says. She says the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few, and
Indeed.
it's always been that way. I got this little formula that came up in my head. There's no science behind it, but I say it's like the 97-3, and 97% of the world needs the 3% of the population to keep it balanced. I believe really that there's less than 3% of the world doing the kind of stuff that you do, but the work is so meaningful, it's so impactful that it really balances the rest of the world that kind of go about their day, either being the polar opposite or even ones that are just disengaged and really not paying attention to what they do. So man, again, man, you're doing a necessary work, and I just want to bring awareness to what you're doing in our specific city, because we've been dealing with a lot lately, especially when it comes to the tragic, unnecessary, avoidable death of a lot of our young men down there. So can we speak on that for a second? Um, it,
Crime and deviance is something that's been taking place during Renaissance times, before the Renaissance time. As time modernized, what once was deviant, would no longer be deviant because it would become criminal crime. And what once wasn't even looked at as being deviant will then become deviant. So it's all about, that's one of the consequences to modernization. Things are always going to happen. And in some places, crime and deviance is how the city thrives. That's how they bring money in the city. As people and as humans, being a species of humanity, we're looked at as numbers. We're not looked at as human beings. We're looked at as numbers. So everything is pretty much on the bell head curve to see what has a correlation with this, what doesn't have a correlation. Let's keep what have a correlation because that brings in more money for the crime and defense.
Yeah.
And but the only thing you can do is do it all is try your best to implement a solution to not avoid to kill off those within your village. That's the only thing you can do. You can protect, being proactive with protection. And it is not just having a firearm and you say you're ready and you protect it, because I guarantee you, 99.99% of the people mind is not ready for that. So it's just one of the things that's going to happen. We can't prevent it. Crime and deviance is pretty much based on functionalism. You just can't explain, even though you can try to put different branches within that tree to say this is why. It's always going to be a why. Nobody's ever satisfied, so it's always going to happen. People always want more, and that's what it boils down to.
Good point, man. So you talked about the need to protect yourself with weapons, but that's not what you said. It's not the only thing we need to do. And,
right, that's not the only thing you do. And the thing about it is, I tell people all the time, as being an NRA instructor and being an instructor through the state of Texas, and I tell people all the time, it's a difference between guns and weapons. Weapons bring about violence. Guns is something that's identifiable that you're utilizing to defend yourself or defend your loved ones. So, throughout the course of time, we have to change our vocabularies. Just like when we was in the military, you better not call your M16A2 a gun. You call it a weapon. And then you learn later, hey, man, we are part of the biggest gang organization in the United States of America. And then this training you go through, they say if you say weapon, you get put out this class. So it's all about the elevation of your mind and the way you have to redefine words for yourself.
Words mean something. So I absolutely agree. And some of the words that I like to use is family. Family. The family unit, I think, is the core of the strength of a community. And I think at the core of the family is the male, and that doesn't take away from the importance of a female in a family. But I believe that communities thrive the best when they got men standing up, protecting or doing their part in the community to make a community thrive. And I know that's where we are missing a lot in our communities, but that's not the only thing. And just because a male may not be absent, that doesn't take away from the need for whoever that guardian is, to stand up and be present in that person's life. You and I talked on the phone the other day about the people who are most present in kids' life are officials at the school, the educators, and the guardians. And I think that's where it starts. I want to see what your thoughts are on that.
I want to just back up a little bit on what you said as far as males, right?
Okay.
Me being in the particular positions that I'm in, I have to be very careful, and it also made me rethink a lot of the thoughts I had, right? Because one of the problems that we have is division, right? We have division amongst those that don't look like us, and we tend to bring division amongst those that do look like us, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes with those that look like us, we bring about division by roles that we think certain sex should have. Male
Mhm.
should do this, a female should do this, a man should do this, and a woman should do this. It's not about a man standing up. It's not about a woman standing up. It's about somebody standing up, right?
Somebody.
Because, yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, I was raised by a single mother, right? But the thing about it was my mother was single because of her relationship status. But she wasn't raising me on my own because I had some real OGs, like some originals, not the watered down, the wannabe, the fake ones. I had some real ones that really, really went by the actual ideology of the organization that was in my village. So my
Well,
mother
talk
was
about that.
single.
When you say original, a real OG, talk about that. What are you saying?
Well, originals are people that is like the founding fathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told the police chief this. I told her the reason why people are not being held accountable for the violations that's being conducted within the community is because when those that are supposed to bring discipline to those that are violating, the police come and take the disciplinary, the ones that bring discipline to the violators to jail. So then when the originals go to jail that stand on the rhetoric of the organization, that's when you have the fakes come in. So when you get a certain age, they say, "Oh, you're an OG." No, age don't make you an OG, not at all. Just like in your age don't make you an adult. Everybody want to be
Mm-hmm.
grown, but don't nobody know the maturity level of being an adult.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you have to understand that's the problem first, because just think of your household. When you was disciplining your child, crime and deviance, the ratio wasn't inflated like it is now. But when laws come about to where you can't discipline your child because those that thrive off crime and deviance see that the population is scarce within the judicial system,
Yeah.
then the ratio of there's an inflation on crime and deviant activities. So we take away the programs for the kids and we put laws out there protecting the kids from getting disciplined.
Yeah.
Then we know one day those kids will be in our control.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, man? You bring up something that's nothing new. There's been a long history of what many believe are strategic laws and rules that are implemented to remove what you call some of the founding fathers out of the community.
Right.
And so Teresa has a question up here, and she wants you to bring a little clarity on what you mean by the founding fathers.
Let me try to put this in a professional way.
Okay.
Founding fathers, in just as anything, are the ones that set the foundation. And in the case of what I'm talking about, the founding fathers that put together the foundation to protect the community. Because there was a point in time where our people, had to depend on these organizations to protect us because the police wasn't. Police wasn't coming into our community to police. They was coming into the communities to brutalize.
Yeah.
Ambulance wasn't coming to certain neighborhoods because of the residents um, that stayed in that community. So when I speak on founding fathers, I'm talking about the founders of certain of organizations. Period. that are remembered as being the foundation setters.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. And so the discussion we was talking about earlier was you was headed to talk about you said there was no gender specific rule when it comes to people standing up. But
Right.
what about when it comes to the schools and the responsibility of whoever does stand up, the guardians that are in the children's lives?
It's a lot of things that I noticed because all of us, most of all of us in the foundation, we have certifications that put us on the same scale as a teacher, right? We
Mhm.
have certifications that put us on the same scale as a counselor. So when we speak, we're not speaking just to blow smoke. We're speaking because we have the same educational background to speak the facts because we know the difference between life and reality. In life, you're probably gonna study to pass the test so you can proceed.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're gonna study for a test and you're going to apply it in your everyday life. So we're very hands-on with certain schools. We just say certain schools, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people tend to say, "Just ain't teaching my child nothing at school," right? But it's not for the teachers to teach your child. A child educated at school and not educated at home is still an uneducated child. So nowadays in time, school has seemed to be treated as a daycare.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of things that can take place in school. But I stated once before, you can have all the programs you want, all the programs you want. But if you're not involved in a school, inside of the school, which is a controlled, mandatory environment,
Yeah.
then the schools and pipeline is going to always be there and remain. So you
Man.
have to go into that school and you have to redo some things. But first, it's a process. Everything is a process. I'm not talking about just going in there and huffing and puffing and think you're gonna blow the school walls down. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that. Now you have some within the school district that sit on the board that are administrators and staff and everything that really needs your help. And
Yeah.
it's just what it is. It's a need. So I mean, I just ask them, how can I help you? And
That's
it's
good.
not pointing no fingers or anything. Let's put a game plan together and let's execute it.
It's important, man, how to be able to partner between the community leaders, the guardians, and they spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day at
Right,
school. So that's a
right.
huge influence on their lives, their thinking, their education, and all that. So I absolutely agree with you. So just kind of on that vein, when we're talking about community leaders, we led the show talking about less talk and more action. So I just remember seeing a few posts that popped up in on Facebook in Texarkana about leaders meeting and trying to come up with actionable plans or whatnot. So you told me that you showed up, and can you talk about that experience? What happened when you went to a few of these meetings?
It made
Well,
me hot, man.
it made okay,
I don't like finger pointing at all.
right, right,
I don't like finger pointing at all. Instead of me talking about, hey, y'all need to go pick out their trash before it gets to my yard, I'm gonna go pick up their trash before it gets in anybody's yard.
yeah,
And I don't like people. Now, and I don't want people to think that I just don't love nobody. I'm gonna tell you like this. I love everybody until you show me that you are my enemy. So I want to get that out there because the Black Panther in me is not going nowhere.
yeah.
So it's and this problem, this thing just didn't start with I won't say leaders. Uh, I would say with the topic of what you're talking about as far as the preachers, some of the preachers, that just didn't start. I noticed that happened last year. It started last summer when they was trying to have a community meeting. Some preachers, I want that, put that out there. Some, not all, because I don't want people in their feelings.
Right.
So some preachers was having a so-called community meeting, but the community wasn't invited to the meeting. But the police chief was invited to the meeting. And you just had that problem that you just had it come up again after the Halloween shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was big talk about we need to do this and we need to do this. So they had meetings, right? So of course I wasn't invited to the meeting. I don't care about the meetings because, like I tell them all the time, I got stuff to do. I'm a soldier. I got stuff to do. I know everybody, it's not in everybody's heart to be a soldier,
Yeah.
So you had some preachers out here that held meetings and they talked. It was a lot of talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I did. I took forms to one of the preachers the day before the meeting. The forms, because they was talking about we need more mentors in the school, this, that, and the third. So I took forms to one of the preachers the day before, along with the book of strategic plans that was published, that we got published through the foundation years ago. So the day of the meeting, me and another Panther, we showed up to the meeting, and the forms that I provided the preacher were the forms that come from a school district administration office that's mandatory so they can run background checks on the individuals that's trying or that want to mentor, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the meeting, the day after the meeting, the day after the day after the meeting, nobody filled out a form.
Okay.
So when you approach these things, I approach them as put up or shut up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about something that needs to be done if I'm not going to sacrifice my time to help implement whatever that is that needs to be done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And not only that, when I was at one of the meetings, I had, the prosecuting attorney was up there, the chief of police was up there, then you had a state representative up there, and they was talking about how it starts in the home and this, that, and the third, right? So when I got up there and I spoke, I got up there to bring or to hold those accountable that were speaking.
Okay.
So we all know the basics start at home, right?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you and me or you and I have done something that we wasn't taught at home.
Oh yeah. It
So
had
it's
nothing
like
to
I
do with mom
told,
and dad.
yeah, it's like I told them, like even in children in development, you learn that a child's mind is structured off of their social environment. So at home, you can teach a child how to build a house. But if the social environment is polluted, that child would never become an architect.
Man, that's heavy. That's heavy.
So
Yeah.
with these preachers that's been linking up lately, it even stated in Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department, the prosecuting attorney said that since meeting with preachers, they've decided to do a juvenile task force. Since they met with the preachers and started the task force, they've arrested 40-some juveniles, wrote so many citations, and took so many guns off the street.
Yeah.
So it's like now I feel offended because I have some of the older generations in different neighborhoods and different communities coming to me telling me it's not right. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, I understand. Yes, sir, I understand. So it's like the preachers, some of the preachers, some churches, it seems as if instead of coming into the community that you, or instead of coming to the hood where you go to church at to help the hood, you only come to the hood to go to church. And now it seems like you trying to get all these people to turn their backs and to incarcerate those of the hood. Like I just I just don't understand that. So yeah, I had a big
Mhm.
problem with that, and I even told one of the preachers, I said, I went to school with your kids. I say, let's just make that clear. I want to get that out there in the open, so that's out there. Like somebody know you. So you just gotta be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, Teresa says the preachers don't know what's going on in the community. And
And she's absolutely right because,
yeah.
like I told them, like they were saying, the city the kids don't have a boys and girls club. The kids don't have an after school program to go to. But it's like I told them, if we start serving churches eviction notices that doesn't do anything for the community they praise in, then our kids will have a building to go to.
That's an old business rule. You go to business school or any of that, you get your business degree. One of the key foundational principles is that organizations have a responsibility to the communities that they operate in. It's
Yeah,
not for them just to come in and set up shop and, whether it's a Walmart, whether it's a school, a church, or anything, you have a responsibility to the community you serve in. So I
right.
agree with you. Yeah. Um, hey, Teresa, she owned it, man. She says, and they don't want to know. I think there's a lot of people to her point that are willfully blind, and
And
deaf.
that's what I told them. I told them also that's why y'all losing the youth in your congregation because they see what's going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kids ain't dumb, man. So you talked about the environment that they're brought up in, and one thing that I've read and come to believe and understand is that how poverty affects the community, and you directly go and try to attack poverty, which are
Right.
the People's Free Food Program. And so, can you talk about that a little bit?
When we do programs, right? When we do things, it's very important that I mention this. Uh, the people we tend to, or the people that come through the line, or whatever program we have. I mean, it's don't look at people as a charity case. We don't do it
Hmm.
because of that. Ain't nobody no charity case. Uh,
Right.
when we have the People's Free Food Program, our motto is "Let's feed the city."
You
I don't care
said let's
what you
feed the
drive.
city.
Yeah, I don't care what you drive. I don't care how much you make an hour. I don't care about the clothes you wear. I don't care about how your hair is styled. It's for the people in the city. I don't care if you stay on Texas side. I don't care if you stay on Arkansas side. I don't care if you don't stay in Texarkana, Texas. You don't stay in Texarkana, Arkansas. It's for the city. We feed the people. It's for the people because there's a lot of things that keep people in poverty. And when I say there's a lot of things that keep people in poverty, you have your utilities and you have your food.
Hmm.
You got to pay your utilities and you have to feed yourself and your family.
Yeah.
So if if we implement a solution to replace something of that, then that's one less thing you don't have to worry about at night.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
nobody knows they're in poverty until they're told they're in poverty or until they see that they can't afford the materialistic things that the normative society say if you have this, then you are above those that are in low income and poverty.
Yeah.
So nobody really knows that they're in poverty until they have something to compare it to that's better than them.
Man, you and Teresa, right on, y'all saying the same thing in different ways. She says most have a poverty mindset, and there is nothing in place to teach them differently. So,
Right,
right,
right.
wow, that's cool. So,
We're gonna
when
change that, Miss Teresa. I promise you. We're gonna
oh
change
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Because my thing is, Miss Teresa, my thing is one day I'm gonna make this stereotypical society apologize to us. One day.
yeah, that's good, man. So you talked about that you feed anybody, you want to feed the city, and we talked
Yeah.
about that a couple weeks ago. And that mindset is even if people don't necessarily need it, I know a lot of people have a mindset they'll pay it forward. I've
Right.
witnessed people go into your program and grab a few boxes and they go
Yes.
distribute
Yes.
to other
Yes.
people
And
who
not
need
only
it.
that, we do emergency relief. So we in Houston, we in New Orleans, we wherever we need to be. Like
Yeah,
we get U-Hauls and we get loaded up and we go.
yeah, that's awesome, man. And and we're gonna talk about this or give an opportunity, to talk about it a little bit later. But everything you're doing costs. So we talk
Yeah.
about, again, people talk and will say often, "Hey, let me know if you need me." But what do you mostly need? People, or where do you need the people, and what else do you need besides people?
You know, my definition of need is totally different, right? Because I don't want people to do something that they feel like they have the right to parade it over people's heads.
Talk
Um,
about that. What you mean? I know what you mean, but for the audience though.
it's my team. We do it because it needs to be done, and not only that, we do it because we try to become who we once needed, right?
Mm,
So a lot of these programs um, has been implemented. Like if you had our book, a lot of these programs have been implemented because I was that child, right?
mhm.
So we have the Lift Me Up program. It's for the single mothers because I used to see my mother hold her head down many nights and cry, right? So um, Miss Bell has my COO. She has a program for to empower women, right? The food program. My mother was one of the ones that went to the food pantry when I was in school, and I had to. She marked out the date on the milk. Didn't think I wasn't gonna look at the date, and I wondered why the milk tastes like water because there was powder she put in the milk. You know, and it was, a lot of these programs is implemented because I needed them as a child.
Yeah,
So I tell people all the time, and they was like, "Well, how can I help?" All you got to do is go deep inside of you, visit that child you once was, or visit that person you once was when you was praying your way through, looking for a breakthrough, and just go through it. Go, because not one person goes through a storm by themselves. Just because you go through the storm, somebody else gonna have to go through that same storm.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Teresa said these programs have existed and have raped the community instead of helped the community. And we agree. There's some that
Can
come
I speak
in
on
with,
that? Can I
yeah,
please speak on that?
absolutely.
Mr. Reese, you're right. And this is what I say all the time. Even when I told the churches, sometimes I have to get on a level to where people in the audience understands, right? And what I mean by that, when I was in a church, I had to get on a church level for them to understand. So in the Bible, it spoke of Nazareth. Nazareth was the hood. They say, is there any good that comes out of Nazareth, right?
Hmm.
So, Miss Teresa, you're absolutely right. What happens is people only come to Nazareth to get their numbers. In this case, we're going to refer to the numbers as statistics. So what they do is get their numbers or get their statistics that they need for the grant they want to apply for, and they take it on the other side of the community where people that have no transportation can get to. But they say they helped us. That's a no-no.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's that comes in protecting the community and protecting your people by any means necessary. I'm not going for it in Ward 1 and Ward 2 in Texarkana. We ain't going for it.
yeah. And so, what's those Ward 1 and 2? Where is that located?
Ward 1 and Ward 2. So you have Librealo, you have Beverly, and you have Rose Hill. We ain't going.
Mhm. Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Hey, so we talk again about the where the need, and I'm glad that you define your thinking about what need is. But the people's free food program, you talked about the deficit that you have accumulated from doing what you do in the community, but it hadn't deterred you from doing what you've been doing.
Right. So
So
the
yeah.
People's Free, before we started the People's Free Food Program, I had to get permission first, right? Because the original the People Program belonged to the Black Panther Party.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get permission to use the name. So when we started the People's Free Food Program, it was reviving what people think has been washed away, right? Because back
Mm-hmm.
then, when the People's Free Food Program and other programs that were started by the Black Panthers, the government took them all, and now they say you have to have paperwork, you have to have your 501c3, you have to have this, you have to have that. But we put in ourselves in position so the word no would never be applied to us. So yes, the food costs. We give it, hey, we feed everybody that needs to be fed, and the food does cost. I mean, it's just because we don't have our own stores where we can get food from. We don't have our own gardens to where we can go pick from our garden and give it to our people. We don't have our own milk or cows to where we can get milk from and charm it to give out to the people. We don't have our own chickens where we can get the eggs from and give to our people. We don't have that, and so yes, the food costs.
So the food that you get from an organization, they charge you, was it per pound? I mean, how does that go? And I'm just trying to see how what the logistics look like and how we can help you on that.
So the delivery fee is $20, right?
Okay.
And yes, it goes off pounds. So it depends on what store they get it from, because all this stuff is donated to them. Most of the stuff is donated to them.
Yeah.
So they go pick it up, they take it back to their warehouse, they weigh it, they separate it, and they load it on a truck and they bring it to us. And there's times to where we get free food, and there's times to there's an order form where you can order food from, if they have it in their warehouse available. But that's so costly, right? So one of the things is when one of the guys delivered the food earlier this month, he said, "You give people all their food?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He was like, "I've never been to an agency to where they give people the amount of food that you give. And not only that, every single piece of food is handled. We inspect each piece of food.
Yeah.
We're not giving no food out that's been smashed. We're not giving no food out that's been mishandled and is opened. Every single piece of food, from the cakes to the vegetables to the meat to the bread to whatever it is inspected. We all have our food handling certifications. We all have our safe serve certifications, and then we also, if we have enough meat, we don't hand the meat out. So we get somebody like Shell Shock. She's been very helpful, and also the Dapper. The restaurant has been very helpful. They will cook the food for us, and when we have our drive-through food giveaway, the People's Free Food Program, we also give them hot food.
Really? Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So this bill that you've accumulated over the months or years or whatever, I think I don't know if you want to disclose how much it is, but I want to help raise
The
money
bill
for
right now, as the other day, the bill right now, they told me that they believe that it's at $2,300.
2,300.
Yeah.
And so if that bill is
And let
not
me
paid,
tell you this. People all the time say, "Oh, it's grants out there. It's grants out there. You can get grants." Let me tell you this. If we wait on a grant how many people gonna go hungry?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you fill out for that grant and you don't even get that grant, you sat around and did nothing. So if you have to wait on money to do what it is you need to do for the people, don't even do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now you're sitting at about 2,300 in the red. But right now, what you told me is that you're using your own money to finance a lot of this.
Yeah, me and members of my team, we
Yeah.
use our own money to do what needs to be done. We get donations from here to there, and we're appreciative of every monetary donation we get.
Yeah.
We're very appreciative, but regardless, it must go on. It must continue. The marathon, like Nipsey said, the marathon will continue.
We'll continue. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, man, from the Floor is Yours podcast, I'm gonna pledge 100. And what I'm gonna do is to help start a campaign, and I want to try to reach 200 people to donate $20 at a minimum. If they can go more, cool. But then if we get those people to reach somebody else to donate, man, we can help put you in a surplus so you can keep doing what you've been doing. So yeah, we'll start off. So the people that's listening and watching, this is the Cash App right here on the screen. It's the Brighter Tomorrow. Well, that's your job, man. Let me let you plug in and tell people how to donate.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It's the Brighter Tomorrow, on Cash App. So give from the heart, give what you can. Every little bit counts. That old saying that there's no amount that's too little, right? It's true. And to what you said, you're trying to be what you needed, and that is a profound way to put it. I know I have. I've been to where we needed people, and that kind of what drives my heart to want to do more. And to your point too, no one can do everything, but all of us can do something. So I just want to plead to the people's heart, their conscience. If you can, man, give to someone who's really boots on the ground, who's doing everything that he can to reach as many people as he can. And I know personally, man, you've helped people in my family. You've helped people that I know, friends and whatnot, man. So I believe in what you're doing, man. And I thank God for you and your organization. Again, a lot of people out there are just talking just to talk. And again, I don't want to call anyone out or alienate people or act like there's not a need to raise awareness, but we do need boots on the ground, people that are helping doing what you're doing, man. So, man, thank you.
I appreciate it. And when it comes to our people, man, I mean, I don't play, man. I'm very protective. I'm very protective of people. When we once started this, a guy told me, he said, you can't cater to one group of people. And I told him, I said, hunger is the need. I said, you can't blame me for your people being responsible for telling you their definition of a need. I mean, I'm telling you, anybody can tell you, and I'm gonna tell you for myself, I do not play about our children, our women, our brothers. I do not play. I don't care who you are, what title you think you have, what type of government official you may be. Don't mistreat people.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not going. I'm not. We're not gonna go back in time. We're not gonna do
it. Yeah, that's good, man. So another thing, man. I see we're running close. We got about 8 more minutes before we call it quits. But I want to. You show up in the newspaper. I want you to talk about this. What your organization was up.
Oh,
here it is right here. So,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, can you talk about what's going on with this picture right here in the newspaper?
These my boys right here, man. All right. So what happened is you have the boys, some of the boys, LE basketball team from freshman to varsity, right? And this was something that was not mandatory. So I really appreciate the parents for allowing them to come because they didn't have to, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody have to allow anybody to come to wherever you're hosting or having. And it's a blessing to have the kids. So if you count 1, 2, 3, you will see me and another guy, me and another basketball player, right? So as they coming in, me and another guy, Mr. Eric Poe, we're greeting the kids, giving our little handshakes that we always have as they get off the school bus. Because they met at the school because I wanted everybody to drive together, everybody to
Mm-hmm.
ride together. So they met at the school at 3 o'clock. The coach put them on a bus at 3:30, and they came over to the Dapper at the Park Place at 4 o'clock. Um, the newspaper that was there. One of my great buddies from Texarkana game day was there, and it was remarkable, man. So they knew it was no flip flops and no basketball shorts, right?
Yeah.
So some of them came dressed very, dressed very casual, very nice. So they're getting off the bus and they're going in there into the restaurant. Now, this restaurant was closed this day. Nothing was going on to the restaurant because this restaurant was catered for them. So the reason why I wanted to do this is because all the people tend to say, "Oh, our younger generation is out of control. They don't understand. They don't listen. They hard headed." But in some cases, you need to drop names because now you putting a youth in there that has nothing to do with the activities that's being conducted. So in order for these kids to be on the basketball team, we know what? That their grades are good.
Yeah.
In order for Coach Brewer to have these kids on his basketball team, we know their attitudes is good. In order for these parents to let their kids attend, we know they've been good and been good at home. So we have three things to congratulate these kids on at this time. So this pictures and images and events show you a lot of what you need to know. Because not only that, it showed me that the school district trusts me with their kids because the bus was reserved. It shows me that the coach trusts me with his kids because he gave me the okay. And it shows that the school board trusts me with their school district because you had two school board members present.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man. That's dope, man. Hey, I said it a million times, man. Thank you for what you're doing, man. Your heart to serve. You can't fake it. You can't
No, it
fake
ain't
a
no
heart
fake.
to serve,
It
man.
ain't no
So
fake.
yeah, I mean, especially when the level of involvement that we see with you. Again, some people can
Right.
show up out of necessity or just for a photo op. But man, you're a week day in, day out. I was about to say week in, week out. Day in and day out, man. You're on the front lines, man. And I appreciate what you're doing. And I just want to implore everybody that's out there, if you can, just give a small donation. So we Teresa asked, well, let me go through a few of these comments right here. Teresa, we appreciate the comments. So we're gonna let Johnathon address you. She said, here you go. Do you give food that a family can actually make a meal with?
Yes, ma'am, we do. And at the time, and sometimes we can give out what we get. And also we're pretty much on call 24/7. If you call me right now, Miss Teresa, say somebody or family needs some food, I'm gonna tell you where to meet me at so you can take the food to them. So we always have food. That's as far as meat. We always have meat, and I'm telling you, the meat we give is some meat. It's I'm talking about
Like real stuff,
steaks,
huh?
ribs, like everything. So we don't just give anything. We don't. This ain't people ain't no dogs, man. People
Yeah.
are not dogs.
Yeah. So that's good, man. So a couple things. I didn't know that you actually did it other than, times when you're actually running the food program. So someone can
Yeah.
call you up during the week or the weekend and be like,
Yeah,
hey,
we
my
have we
family.
have schools. We have schools that call us. And matter of fact, I be calling schools. Like especially we get a lot of fruits, of vegetables. I'll call Pleasant Grove and talk to them. I call I call actual football athletic directors. I call them. Hey, I got this, and principals, especially principals. Do you have any kids how many kids you need a box for? And
That's good.
and we make it happen.
So they're aware of the kids that may be going without.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because their interaction and their man, that's awesome, man.
Most definitely, because awesome. Like not only that, I mean, we have a shoe program, a partnership with Shoe Carnival. We have many other programs to make sure that kids are being taken care of even when they're in a school environment. Because that if you do that, I mean that cuts down the bullying. So
yeah. Other stresses
we have an anti-bully program. I mean, we involved. We are so involved. One of the school districts made us our own school ID.
Yeah. Okay, man. So we just want people. Teresa saying, what's your contact information so that people can get in contact with you?
What you can do is go on Facebook to Brighter Tomorrow Foundation, and all the contact information is on there. We're also in the state. We're recognized in the state of Arkansas, recognized by the Secretary of State in Texas, and also recognized by the Secretary of State of California, and we're soon about to be expanding in Alabama.
Yeah, cool. So we got a lot of support from our Sip and Converse community, inviting people to come in and do what they can. Appreciate that. Go through a few more of these before we get ready to wrap the show up. Teresa says she will put the info out for her program also. Please do.
Thank you. And I must say, man, I want to put this out there. Without my team, I'm nothing, man.
Yeah.
I'm nothing. Because when I tell you, it be times I be in meetings, it be times I be out of town with Attorney Lee Merritt or Al Sharpton or Ben Crump, and they take it. They continue. Like, just because I'm not there, they work. And that's why I say I'm really big on not separating us by gender. Because when I tell you the queens, the strong Black women in my organization, bro, I know I went kind of hood right there. I'm telling you though.
Yeah.
They're outstanding. I mean, it's what it
is.
And
women have been standing up for centuries, man, and doing more than we ever thought they would be asked to do. So hey,
and my belief is when we stop acting as if a woman came from our rib and start realizing that a man came from the womb of a woman, we'll be better off.
Hey, I get it, man. I agree with you. Green Electoral says we all have to have a part that we can play to reach the community.
Indeed.
Time to walk the walk. Here's I think this is from the Sip and Converse community because this is a private group, so we don't know the name. But they're saying Jonathan Boyce is an outstanding leader in the community. He has been there for me and my child before, and that's love. So, man, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
And I don't even know who that is. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So, Teresa, he said go to Brighter Tomorrow Foundation.
It's on Facebook, and and all our contact information is there.
It's right there. Brighter Tomorrow Foundation, just like it sounds, right? All right, and this right here, I like that building up their esteem as well. So you pointed out a few times the need to maintain people's dignity. You're telling them that you're not a charity case. You're respecting the food, making sure you're giving them quality food. So I think that's important to do. So what's the mindset behind that?
I mean, it's a lot of people have to build up their esteem because it all takes us a while before we learn how to truly love ourselves. And a lot of people have to try to build their esteem because they just feel like they're any less of a person because they're without.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's very important that I'll tell all people. That's why our motto is "Let's feed the city," because I don't want nobody to feel like no charity case at all. Yeah. Because this is not what it is. True enough, we based on charity and education. So just because we based off charity and education, that's what it is on paper. But I'm not going to treat you like that at all.
Yeah. Cool. So here's Rashandra Aubrey said, "Do you have Venmo?"
I don't know what that is.
I do. So I know Rashandra.
I'm old school with it, man.
Yeah. So I know Rashandra. She's a good friend. Rashandra, I'll send you my Venmo. You can send it to me, and I'll make sure that that Jonathan gets the donation, whatever you send.
Yeah, make sure you let me know what that is, bro, because that might be something that we need to have.
So Venmo is another similar to Cash App and PayPal and all this money, exchange little system. So it's just different things out there that people prefer one over the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Venmo, but yeah, set it up, man. Hey, but
I know we're getting away from PayPal because PayPal been taking our money.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of bad things about PayPal. Man, this hour came and went before I knew it, bro. We ain't touched half the stuff that we said we were gonna talk about.
Man,
but
we always got tomorrow, man.
You better know it, man. You better know it. So,
Miss Teresa, I get that Venmo. I see what Miss Teresa say.
Oh yeah,
yes, ma'am. I got you, Miss Teresa.
Yeah. So, man, again, man, I thank God for you, brother. What you're doing, and man, I see you every day on Facebook posting, and man, our city needs you. Our country needs you, and more like-minded people like you, man. I appreciate the heart you have, and I just say, be encouraged, bro. I know it ain't always,
it's not.
Easy, but
and a lot of people when they find out my age, they be like, "What? And you've been doing this for how long?"
Oh yeah, man, yeah. So, man, again, I won't disclose all the stuff that we talk, but some of the stuff that you told me in private, man, it shows me, man, it's in your heart, bro. So, again, man, be encouraged, all the listeners. If you have it in your heart, again, this stuff is not free, and we'll put up here one more time for you to be able to donate by Cash App. His organization is the Brighter Tomorrow Foundation, and I'll let you plug that one more time before we call it quits.
Yeah, Brighter Tomorrow Foundation. But what I mostly, if you don't mind, what I mostly want to tell people is just remember that situation you was in when you felt like that you couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
There's somebody else that's going through that situation that you would never know about. And you'll be surprised of how you build around that situation you was once in, how many people will come through the door. All you have to do is be who you once needed. It's not hard at all. It's not hard.
Yeah. And again, no amount is too little, whether it's an ear to listen, some advice, because, man, we got a lot of smart professionals in our community, too, that can do more to help teach and uplift other people. Man, encouragement goes a long way, but nothing is, I ain't going to say nothing is more important. The dollar is just as important. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up here one more time. The People's Free Food Program, Cash App is Brighter Tomorrow. And I will get with Rashandra and get her my Venmo, unless you want to set one up real quick.
No, go ahead, because I'm gonna have somebody do it. I'm not gonna mess up nothing.
Yeah, okay. Cool, man. So yeah, I'll get that whatever the donation is sent to you. But man, I'll let you plug one more time your organization or give us a final thought before we go.
Just remember, nobody's greater than the next person on their left or right.
Yeah, that's good. Hey man, I appreciate you, man. Again, be encouraged.
Help those in Arkansas that comes, Miss Teresa. Yes, ma'am. Everybody. Everybody.
Okay. Hey, we were just talking about Miss Cookie. Here she goes. She said, "Hey y'all."
Cool beans right there.
Hey man, that's another heavy hitter for the city, man. I thank God for Cookie too, man. She does so much, man. And those young kings that she raising over there, man, they're gonna follow in her.
And not only that, man, her story is amazing, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, her story is amazing. And strength that women have, man, I could never have the same strength as a woman. Women, man, I'm telling you, they don't get credit like they should get credit. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. Oh, yeah. Women in general, they don't.
I agree. You're right. You're so right, brother. Yeah. So, hey, thank everybody for tuning in. One more time, go and donate to this brother. Help his program out. Help him help others. We're a community.
And it's tax deductible. That helps.
Cool. All right, hey man. So Teresa's told us to bring you back, man. You got my word, bro. Anytime that you want to come back, man, we're gonna make sure we make clear
And
out
you
a
know,
spot.
I need to come see you for what we
Yeah,
talked about. I need to
yeah,
come see you.
yeah. Seriously, seriously,
Yeah.
seriously. Yeah. Well, I'll be in town Christmas weekend, so
Okay.
I'll ping you if you're around, man. Maybe we can link up. But if nothing else, man, hey, come on up, man. Take around
Okay.
the city here in the D.
All
For
I
sure.
need is an hour and a half. Your laptop and internet access. We can meet at Books A Million. That's like my second home. We can meet there. So I can
Man,
show
that's
you what you asked me for. So therefore you can help the next person.
for sure. Hey, pay it forward, right?
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate you, brother. Man, take care, man. Be
I
encouraged.
appreciate you, man.
All right, everybody. We out.